Hello, I'm back. My favorite saying, I am back from adventure again. It is Yvonne here from Women's Fitness Adventures. It is a very cold, blowy day where I am. The wind is howling all around me. So I'm here snuggled in my hoodie from New Zealand and sharing this session with you. And this week is a combination of the questions that have landed on my desk and the questions I was asked on adventure last week, and also just some observations and things I've been watching. So I often get asked lots of things. I've had many text messages today about just different things. So I thought I would share those with you because they may have burning questions that you have been burning to ask, or you might have some insight that you wish to share as well. So if you're watching live on Facebook, hello. If you're watching live on YouTube or replay on YouTube, then hello as well. Please go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. And as always, if you have questions or you have a comment, just drop them in here, and it always is great conversation and talking points. So let's get started. So I was away last week. I was on our Outback Queensland fitness adventure. That is now my 6th time of doing that adventure. So we head out to Roma in Western Queensland and then have our adventure around the Carnarvon Ranges and beyond. And it is something really special. And many people think that they're going, or many of our members think that they're going on that adventure for the Carnarvon Gorge, but really it is the private property that we stay on that is actually more and more exciting than the whole Carnarvon Gorge, which is a pretty big statement, but it is a pretty big result as well. So we learn about the history of the area as well. And I was chatting to people today about it, and they just asking me in general about the adventure and, the significance of that adventure and the journey that we go on to connect everything up is really quite amazing. And what we learn and what we take home is even more important. And many years ago, I spoke at, I think I might have mentioned this, at an ecotourism conference, the Australian Ecotourism Council conference up in North Queensland. And we think of ecotourism as, being environmentally responsible and sustainable, and, a lot of those factors of what we think with environmentalism. But one of the things that we also need to think about is what we give back to communities and local places and local businesses. And many of our adventures, and in particular that Outback adventure, is we head out there, we stay locally, we eat locally, we use local guides, we stay on local properties, and what we learn is the essence of local, and we bring that information back and we share it in our own world, and it spreads this knowledge and joy and education around those areas. And that begins to make a huge difference, because when women are educated and knowledgeable and take that information back, then, their whole community becomes very much the same as well. So it was a wonderful time. Yes, as Alethea says here from South Coast New South Wales, missing our laughs. We had some very big belly laughs. For so much fun out there. It was cold, but we had wonderful campfires as well. So if that adventure, if you saw our pictures here on Facebook, excited you, it is on again next year. And next July, we're just finalising dates. So just let us know if that's something that is of interest to you. So hello, Kerry from cold, damp northeast Victoria. I bet there's a big cold front coming right across the country. Hello, Leonie from Gympie. Nice to see you. Barbara from Brisbane. Missed you today. Patricia, hello from Phillip Island. And hello, Anne from Kenya. Lovely to have you here as well. So the things that came across my desk, and hello, Chris from Townsville, missing my buddies from last week, was that, and hello, Kerry from Logan Village, and Sue from Ipswich. Lovely to have you, Sue. We'll be meeting you soon in a couple of weeks. So one of our ladies last week on the adventure, Vanessa, it was her very first adventure, and we were sitting around the table on our last night. And we always have a celebration and awards on our last night. So the awards are a reflection of all the wonderful goodness things that we've achieved during the week. Each person gets an award, and they're light humour, designed to uplift and remember all the amazing things that happened. And so as we go around the table and everyone shares um, their highlights of the day and their highlights of the week, Vanessa sat there and said, who would have thought that 12 years ago I would be holidaying, or 12 years ago, who would have thought, I'm getting my numbers mixed up, a year ago, that 12 months ago, that I would be holidaying and hiking with 12 women I didn't know. And I sat there and I thought about that. And we all do that all the time when we come on our adventures, but it's the first time someone's actually voiced it. And she was smiling, she was beaming, and has already booked into her next adventure. But it's a really particular point to raise, because we may, whether if you go on other trips, you book in and you don't know anyone, and it's the same experience. But our group of 10 plus me plus our guides had become very, very firm friends across a very short time frame. We knew each other in the online space beforehand through our community. And it wasn't really, over that 12 months, she had built the friendships, the people that she shared her rooms with, she had built those friendships. So, as that 12 months had progressed to get to the adventure, she was already holidaying with the friends that she had made online. And I think that's what sets us apart from other hiking groups that are out there, other hiking, you just book onto a trek, is that the people that you're going with, the friendships and the common language and the common struggles and triumphs that we all go through. So that's one thing I wanted to share that landed on my desk or came across my world, is that holidaying with 12 women that I didn't know a year ago. Now, that's a lot. Try and find 12 new friends in a year. That's a hard thing. The second one was hiker's wool. So on the trail, there were some blisters, there were some sore feet, there were some hot spots. So hiker's wool. And for some, that was brand new. And if you're a regular hiker, you may know what hiker's wool is. It's wool from a sheep that's been treated, and that you put it into your shoes or inside your sock, and then your foot goes in your shoe, and it takes some of the pressure off. It softens it, or it might absorb some moisture as well. But for people who don't know about hiker's wool, it's a new thing. But the point of hiker's wool, and the point of anything going into your shoes other than your socks and your feet, is that our feet are prone to blisters. So we had little blister workshop, and we had, because someone had quite significant blisters on their feet, and we had a discussion about what causes blisters. And the thing that causes blisters is shear. So as in SHEAR. So if we, and I demonstrated this, what I'm going to do is put a piece of paper and my phone. So pretend that my phone is my foot, my shoe, and pretend that the piece of paper is my foot. So I'm just going to fold it up, make it look a bit more bulky. So pretend that I've put my foot in there so you can see, right? I'll turn it that way, that's that, right? And so when I just normally hike along and I'm not doing much, that might be what it looks like, how my foot sits in my shoe. But if I go and suddenly have a backpack that's a bit heavier and put it on there, then all of a sudden my foot, so the backpack's added weight to me, my foot is going to sit differently in my shoe. What if I take the backpack off, but I haven't had enough water, so I'm going to be dehydrated? It might lift a little bit out of my shoe. So shear is when these two surfaces go together, and then something happens that changes how that sits. So it could be the weight in our backpack, it could be not being hydrated enough, it could be being overhydrated, it could be that you've got some sand or some dirt in there, or a little stone. It could be that your feet have got hot and swollen. It could be that you've just hiked consecutive days and it's not used to, that wearing in. So it could be any number of things. And if you're not prone to blisters and all of a sudden you get one, it's important to think about what were the elements that you changed. But most importantly, it was really important that we stopped and we addressed the feet as soon as they became a hotspot. Because what happens is that if you don't address things out on the trail when they start to niggle, then your concentration will start to go to that thing that is making you annoyed, or that you're thinking about all the time. And that's when accidents start to happen. So if we didn't address the feet, if we had said, oh, just keep walking, lunch will be in an hour or two and we'll address it then, that person would have perhaps thought a bit more about their feet, how uncomfortable they were. They would have been focusing on their feet and not necessarily on lifting their feet, on seeing where they were going. And that's when accidents can happen. So when an accident happens, it's not because of what happened right then at the accident. It's those 3 or 4 decisions beforehand that you made or you didn't make that will cause the accident. So that is a really important one. Hikers will being in there with blisters as well. Here's the girl herself. Hello, Vanessa. So hello, Fiona from Perth, Christine near Cobar, Kate from Brisbane, Karen from Claremont, Lynn from Armidale. Hi, Lynn. And Vanessa from Burpengary. We're all over the country today. So that's a really important one as well. Feet, hiker's wool, what you do for your feet for feet protection, blister protection, hotspot protection. And so for our members, there is that masterclass in our resources section on feet. Really important that you, and there's a couple of links to resources in there as well about feet and blisters. So really important that you check that out and know, learn and understand your feet. You know, is it after 5 kilometers they get sore? Is it on footpaths? Is it out, you know, after a couple of hours? Is it when you put a backpack on? Have a think about that. And hiker's wool is just one part of that conversation. The other one is trust. A trusted brand. So I got this delightful message this afternoon from one of our members, a longtime member, and her story is on the website, and her name is Diana. And when Diana first joined us back in, would have been about 2017, so about 8 years ago, her story, and I'll give it to you in a nutshell, is the most beautiful story and a lesson to us all. Diana had just turned 50 around that time, and she was a mum. She was working. She had kids that she was looking after. She generally was busy and didn't feel particularly well, but she didn't feel unwell. But it turns out that Diana actually had a heart attack at 50. And she got through the heart attack. She survived. She was very lucky. But she realized then that if she didn't start looking after herself, that she would be, you know, she wouldn't have much quality of life. So that's when she got all clear from the doctor and started hiking with us, and has literally, you know, she's moved away from us now and lives further up in Queensland, but now has all these amazing hiking journeys under her belt from that one decision to say, I don't want my life to be like this. I've had the health scare and now I need to do something and continually do something about it. So she sent me this lovely message today, and she's often solo hiking on her own as well. And she's still a member of our community. And she said, Yvonne, I remember that you took a group of women to Kokoda a few years ago in New Guinea. And she said, I've always wanted to hike that track. I was thinking of going to XYZ, but here it is. I really trust every single thing that you do inside Women's Fitness Adventures, because I would not have got here with my hiking skills, my hiking knowledge, and my hiking confidence if it weren't for you guys. And I'm so glad I found you guys when that health issue happened to me. So I gave her, she said, but can you recommend, you know, I found XYZ, but I don't know them. Is there anyone that you can recommend that I do Kokoda with? Because I will go on your recommendation, because I trust you guys so much that I will go on your recommendation over and above anything else I find out there. So that was really, really nice to know, because wherever you are in your hiking journey, having that trusted resource, that knowing that someone's got your back on your hiking journey to give you the skills, the knowledge, the confidence, or the hiking community that you want to go with is really, really important. And you can't buy trust. Trust is an earned thing. Trust is something that's built up over a long time, and trust is something that happens when you consistently show up and deliver the same thing in many different ways, but the same, you know, the same values over time. So that was a really, really lovely message to get today. The other one that I had today is, and it goes back to my very first point, is that we deal wherever possible, 99% of the time, with local family-run businesses. And to me, that is really, really important. Not only is it important because I am supporting a small business, that business can customize that to us as well, but it is about their relationship. And there's a couple of suppliers that we work with where we're dealing with people who work there, which is great. But there is nothing better from my perspective than dealing with the owner of the company, so that we can craft and create and build this relationship where not only are they able to share their story and their environment with us, we're able to share ours, and our members get that beautiful benefit of both of those things as well. So I had some lovely conversations with some of our suppliers today about some upcoming adventures. And that is just really refreshing to know that there are really just wonderful people out there wanting to share their part of the world and to share that with in our space with women who really, really enjoy being on the trails and enjoy each other's company as well. Alethea, I'm not going to share that with you yet. You have to get yourself right. And we'll have a conversation about that later. And then the last one was, and hello, Kim, was we did last week or the week before last, because I was away last week. Inside our membership, we run, for those of you who are members, we run trail fit training on a Thursday live when I'm here, and we run step fit training. And hi, Meg. And step fit training on a Tuesday. And the reason we do our step fit training online is that we know from all our years of being out on the trails that lifting our feet is the most important thing. So our short, sharp 15-minute step class is really designed to get our heart rate up, of course, but to lift our feet so that we build strong muscles from, the waist down, but that constant ability to lift our feet, which our feet can drag when we do get tired. So that's been going for about 2 months now. Yeah, about 2 months now. And then on Thursday is our trail fit training. So for those of you who attend, again, it's on a Thursday. There's 2 live sessions where we teach strength, endurance, cardio, and mobility for the trail. So everything we need to do to get strong for the trail and protect our muscles, or protect our joints, build our strong muscles to protect our joints and minimize our risk of injury as well. So what we did on Thursday week ago was we did a benchmarking session. So where are we at individually with our strength? Where are we at individually with our cardio? Where are we at individually with our endurance? And where are we at individually with our mobility? And if you want to watch that on replay, it is there in the portal under benchmarking in trail fit training. But I had some amazing emails come in from that. And the consensus was, let's do that again, which we will be in 8 weeks. So if you haven't done it, jump in there and do it. But we can't measure what we can't see. So by measuring where we are on those 4 things, we can see that we are getting stronger. And I know when we go on trails, I can see who does either gym work or our classes or strength work or something to aid their fitness on the trail. And I can see those who have not yet got to that space. And it's really, really a big difference. But what we don't realize is that it's those little habits, those weekly habits, day in, day out, week in, week out, that build up to something really, really powerful. And we don't see necessarily how our mobility increases or our strength increases or our cardio increases because we're doing it regularly enough. But it's not until we measure that makes a difference. And one of the things that we did was a balance test of standing on one leg. And one of our members has been doing our online classes since they started at the beginning of the pandemic, so 2020. So now in our 6th year. And she emailed me and said, I managed to stand on one leg for over 4 minutes without losing my balance. Now, 4 minutes is enormous. It takes a lot of concentration, but it's taken her the discipline of pretty much doing this every day as she cleans her teeth to be able to do that. Now, how powerful is that? Not just because she can boast about it, but because she has really, really good strength and stability. Now, why do you think balance matters for the trail? Well, it matters a lot if we're going over rocky or uneven surfaces. If it's a rainforest and there's lots of tree roots. If your pack is a different weight to what it normally is, or you're not used to carrying a pack, your balance matters because a pack will change your center of gravity. But it also matters here over in our everyday life. It matters when we get out of bed in the middle of the night. And if you're like me, your eyes are not open. If you have to go to the toilet, your eyes are not open. You're kind of half aware of where you're going and half aware of that, things are where they should be, to get yourself to the toilet and then get back into bed without falling over and without hurting yourself. So balance plays a key part in that aspect of your life as well. So all the things that we train for on the trail, the strength we all get from being out on the trail and being with each other, really maps over into your everyday life as well. But some other comments around the benchmarking were that I didn't think I was as strong in the shoulders. I hated doing a push-up, because we did some push-ups and variations for wherever you're at, because you all have to start somewhere. But knowing that I can now do some, whereas I couldn't before. Some people who their knees are, not able to get on their knees, will build strength in our glutes, build strength in our bottoms so that we can. So it's not so much necessarily the part of your body that you think it is. It's probably another part. So our benchmarking was a huge success, and we do that with anything. If we watch our Couch to Mountainers, and many of the ladies that were on my adventure last week, and what a great time we had, remember. And if you have any comments, please feel free to add them in here. Were Couch to Mountain graduates, and we see the conversations happening with our current Couch to Mountain people is that I'm just starting out. The difference is with accountability now that I would put my alarm on, but there was no real reason to get out of bed. Now I have some accountability because I need to check in at the end of the week. And the other thing that happens when we build these great habits, when we surround ourselves with like-minded hikers, like-minded women, is that we have the conversations of, they start to switch from doubting ourselves to feeling really confident, or not really confident. As women, I think we're always going to feel a little bit of unease and uncertainty. That's just who we are as women. But we switch from that doubt and uncertainty to, as Dorothy would say, this friendly fear around, can I, would I, could I? But we keep ourselves training so that we stay in that space. So it's a really interesting journey that we all go on. And as we keep up leveling in our adventures, we start to get that same pattern, that uncertainty. Can I, will I, what if, what happens? We go on it and, we feel confident and great. So we book onto something that may be a little bit more different, challenging, something we haven't done before. And that cycle just keeps repeating itself. But getting comfortable with that cycle is a really good thing as well. But I was also reflecting my final point today is we've had some changes in the office, and I'm now back managing the day-to-day. So if you do ring, you get me. And if you do email, you get me as well. That we have such a wonderful community inside Women's Fitness Adventures. It is so caring. Every single one of you who is watching, who is a member. If you're not a member, then, I think perhaps you should be. You are all so amazing. You are all so supportive of each other. You are all so kind and so caring, and will assist and, step in where needed, and give a gentle nudge where needed as well. But all from this wonderful space of kindness and caring and generosity. And it is having seen that again last week. I do 6 or 7 multi-day adventures a year. So, I'm out for 40 or 50 days a year on adventure. It is just a pattern that keeps happening over and over and over again. And I've been on other trips and I've been with other groups and stuff, and no one comes close to you guys as members. If you're a member and watching, no one comes close. And I want you to remember that. Remember the power of the community that you have created and that you are in as well. And that is just, some of the emails that have come over my desk, or my conversations this past week. So that is it from me. Thank you so much for listening, for being here. If you have comments or questions, and hello, Louise, please just pop them in here. If you want to know more about our Outback adventure for next year, then I'll just share this last one. Snuck it in there. Leonie says, I agree with you, Yvonne. So glad I've found a wonderful way to stay fit while meeting fantastic ladies. Absolutely. And you all become very firm friends very, very quickly, regardless of where in the world that we might live. So thank you for that, Leonie. So that is it from me. I will be back next week. I do hope I connect with some of you over the course of the week. And stay well, stay out of the howling wind and this cold front that's coming across the country. See you then. Bye.